So you've taken your Envision sand and gravel groundwater simulator out of the box, and the first thing you want to do is remove the foam that's placed on the top ground surface to keep the grass from shifting or from any gravel falling out while it's being transported. The next thing you want to do is locate the plug for the water reservoir in the back. It should be stored in the lake when you put it away. And then you want to turn your model around and make sure that all of the valves into the water tank are closed. The valve is closed when it's perpendicular to the direction of flow. It's open when it's parallel. So the lake is closed, the backside of the river is closed, and the bottom of the water reservoir is closed. The plug you removed from the lake gets screwed very gently into the hole on the back of the reservoir. This is how you drain the model when you're done using it. And we're going to keep screwing this in until it's just tight. It doesn't have to be screwed all the way in to cover all the threads. And the last thing you want to do is make sure that that valve is perpendicular and closed. Now you're ready to put water into the reservoir on the back of the model. So you're going to need several buckets of water, so make sure you have a large bucket handy and you're close to a sink. And you want to pour the water into this back reservoir. You do not want to pour it onto the ground surface of the model. If all of your valves are closed, you shouldn't see any water getting into the front side of the model. So you want to fill the back reservoir up until the water level reaches the line marked as the appropriate water level on the side of the tank. Once it's full, now you're ready to put the pump in. Once you've put water in the back reservoir of the groundwater model, you're ready to assemble the pump. We're using a fish tank pump. You may have a different model with your groundwater simulator. Just follow the directions you have for assembly. We'll show you how to assemble this one. The tube comes in two parts. You want to attach them just by sliding them gently into each other. This is the reservoir for the pump, and the actual pump is located in this attached to a power cord. A red O-ring keeps water from leaking out of the bottom of the pump reservoir. So if this is not attached when you're assembling your pump, you want to firmly press it in so that that red O-ring is completely covered up. If your pump is leaking, once you turn it on, this is most likely the place where it's leaking. So you want to unplug your pump, pull this out, and firmly press it back in to make sure it seals. Next, you want to take the end with the fan and push it down so that it fits in the hole above the pump, making sure that the lip on the U part of the pump fits neatly into this slot. Before you set the pump on the back of the groundwater simulator, you want to check and see if there is a guard on the recharge area. If there is a guard, it should be covering the slot closest to the front of the tank, not the back of the tank. The pump tube goes into the reservoir on the back of the simulator, and you just want to push it over as far as you can to the right. Next, you want to put water in the back of the pump reservoir to prime the pump. And you want to fill that reservoir about half full. Now you're ready to plug in the pump. It's going to make a sucking sound for a little while until it pulls water up into the tube. If it continues, you can add a little more water into the back reservoir of the pump. And once that sucking sound stops, now it's going to start pumping the water, and water is going to flow from the pump into the recharge area and start to fill the front of your model. You can see the water moving downward through the sediment. You'll also notice that as the model begins to fill full of water, the water level is going to drop on the reservoir from the indicated water level. So you can just go ahead and add some more water to the back of the simulator reservoir to keep that water level at the right spot. Watch as the model fills. You'll see the water moving through the sediment. And once all of the space between the sand and gravel is full of water, the level in the river and the lake will start to rise. So you're going to watch for that point. So now you can see the river is starting to fill with water, which is an indicator that the model is now saturated. The level of water is also rising in the lake. And once the river is full, you can be sure that the model is fully filled with water. So you can go ahead and open the valve on the back side of the river to allow water to flow from the river into the reservoir on the back of the groundwater model. At this point, you can look at the level of the lake. The lake right now is a bit higher than you'd like it to be. So by sliding the pump to the side, you can decrease the amount of water entering the recharge level, which should cause the lake level to lower. And once you find a lake level that's appropriate, the model should stabilize and you're ready to do some experiments.